Good morning, welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so for today we are going to be starting something a bit different. Basically, I had a thought last night when I was binge watching Rebels. Yes, I was watching Rebels because I just finished watching Clone Wars, but that is besides the point. I've decided that it is now time that we've got a decent enough amount of gold to start working on crafting our basics. So basic crafting is mounts. Now what type of mount is best to start off with? It's completely up to your actual skill set or your characters, and preferably I've always gone with the tried and true method of the Vial of Sands. Now a lot of people do not have the luxury of having the Vial of Sands recipe, so the other thing that I would recommend that you get into crafting, something along the lines of the Mechanized Chopper. That is easy to do. Just take your tablet off and run through the Pit of Sauron. About 3 lockouts will get you to Exalted with the Alliance Vanguard or the Horde version, and then you can buy the Mechanized Chopper or the Hog or whatever it's called for the Horde. Aside from that, today I want to get into starting production of mounts. Now I go about this in a completely weird way, and I run this kind of like an assembly line, so to speak. Now I gather up a load of materials because I am a keen person to buy stuff off the auction house then craft it, but at the beginning of not having a lot of gold to actually invest a load of gold into all of this, we're going to have to go to bare bones basic of what I used to do to make a sizable amount of gold each and every week, and that is by gathering up all of the materials by itself. Obviously, with a limited amount of gold supply for investing on the auction house, we don't have the luxury of buying the items and then crafting it for a profit. We're going to have to actually farm this. Now, with the Vial of Sands, it's relatively simple. I did a breakdown quite a while back in one of my Wednesday weekly golds, but again, this is what we're going to be doing. With the Vial of Sands recipe, Vial of the Sands, you can see at the moment the crafting cost is around about 55k, and we don't have 55k to craft all this stuff, and there is additional costs depending on the fluctuations on our auction house, because it could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less. It isn't actually dead on specific. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to craft all of this stuff myself. Now the great thing about the Vial of Sands crafting for me, and also the Mechanized Chopper if you were going to do that as well, is that this doesn't have a cooldown, nor does it have any form of constraints when it comes to crafting these. Obviously you will have to buy the materials respectively. The Mechanized Chopper one is around about 12,500 gold from the vendor in K2 in Storm Peaks, and with the Vial of Sands all you have to do is go over to Uldum and go over to the Oasis, and then you can buy that for 29,000 gold. We do have 29,000 gold to invest into one crafted mount, and by the time we sell this mount on, we can then do a production of 2 more. So for every one that we sell, we can make 2 more and then sell those on, because we're currently at around about like 30-odd thousand gold, and it won't be hard to get a hold of these crafting materials. So obviously we're going to have to invest quite a lot of gold into this to actually reap the rewards and then just build up in incremental ways. So what I've planned on doing is we're going to have to gather up 72 Pyrite, 120 volatile fire, water and air. Along with that, we're going to have to gather up 128 volatile life, that's the easy part, and 128 whiptail, along with 64 Azara's Veil, 64 Cinder Bloom and 8 albino cavefish. Now, for obvious reasons, if you want to gather this up and do it along with me, you're more than welcome to find the best farming locations for these on the Worth It add-on. Obviously, Azara's Veil we did the other day, and we've sold quite a few of it, so we may have to redo that. And my plan is to gather up enough materials to create 3 Vial of the Sands. So that means timesing all of those numbers by 3, and then crafting 1. Once we've sold that 1, we can then craft 2, and then while in the meantime of selling those, we gather up more and more materials in order to keep the production line going and making sure that we can sell 3 of every single one on the auction house. This also does give us a little bit of a benefit of doing some nice undercuts to get our gold back, even though we could always just sell the materials on the auction house. But for me, I find that it is a lot more beneficial to actually sell the mounts on the auction house, because personally I just find it easier to keep track of everything and run it all like an assembly line. So that, without further ado, we're going to be doing that for the next few days, is just gathering up all of these materials and then starting the production line. And then once we've got enough more gold, we can then work on other things as well. The bottom line at the moment is we don't have enough gold to start a crafting production line on a lot of things. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start little by little. And obviously I know it's day 8 of the entire year, but I wanted to start this now because I know you guys want to make gold and I want to make gold because I hate being close to 0. Being the case, let's get into the farm for the day. So for today, we have been gathering up whiptail. Yes, we have. And what we're actually using is my multi-farm for pyrite and whiptail. This is combining the 2 farms in Oldham for mining and herbalism. This is what I've always used to craft the Vial of the Sands, because it gets me a lot of each and all materials which I need. Now obviously in an hour's farm we have got 27 out of the 72 pyrite that we need, and along with that we've actually got a few volatiles in which we need to craft the mount, and alongside that we have gained enough whiptail, 502 to be precise, to craft the 3 Vial of the Sands. So already in 1 hour's farm we've got enough whiptail to craft all 3 of those Vial of Sands mounts. So obviously this is kind of good and I'm looking forward to it. The bag value at this moment in time is 16,000 gold. I know, high pop realms, everything just plummets when it comes to gold farms. Just look at my BFA farms, they're just so low and all that jazz. So yeah, gold on a high pop realm is, like, for really good farms, is really scarce. So if we were going to have a look at things like whiptail, it says 17,000 gold. It says 12,000 gold per hour for the whiptail farm. Now obviously we managed to get it up to 16 by turning it into a multi-farm. This is a good way in order to maximize our gold, and obviously the farm is on the screen as of this point. Now the next stage in this is I'm going to, after this video, is by farming up all of the baseline herbs for the following day, and then we can move on to the volatiles and the pyrite. At the moment we have 178 volatile life, which we need 384 of. So if we did another farm basically for an hour of herbalism, and we've got Ajara's Veil to farm up and we've got Cinderbloom to farm up, so we're definitely going to hit the volatile life. So it's just a case of getting hold of the volatile air, fire and water. Now the volatile air is really easy to do, and basically it is still in Oldham, and that is in the Vortex Pinnacle, just over Har. And what you're going to have to do is just run out of the instance, just keep killing all of the trash and the bosses to try and get hold of the mount as well, because I still don't have that and I used to farm it like crazy, and it's a very frustrating mount to actually get a hold of. But aside from that, the things of note for the day is basically we're just going to start our production line a little bit early, but I thought of a way to start maximizing our gold so we can start increasing how much gold we're actually making per day and throughout the future. So now we're at this point of starting the production line. So that being the case, let's go on to the gold for the day. Now for obvious reasons, some people may not like the assembly line method of production when it comes to crafted animals and or mounts, so to speak, but this is the way I've always done it, and this is the one that I'm most adept with and I know quite a bit about on how to get it done effectively and fast. to make sure that we can keep up with supply of demand. Obviously, I find the assembly line method to go quite well. You can always just do it singly, just farm up a mount, sell it, and then just refarm it or whatever you prefer. Now this just does depend if you can just buy the materials off the auction house and then craft it, but I find that it's a lot easier just by farming up the materials and then crafting it and then selling it. But other than that, the gold for the day is around about 16,261 gold, so we're obviously doing quite well. Now, the next things of note are we sold a stack of 37 titanium ore for 3,488 gold. And the other thing of note is the infinite dust for 200 of those for 2,452 gold. I didn't end up making those bags at the end of the day. I kind of like got obsessed with watching Clone Wars. But other than that, we did also sell a stack of 12 Arcanite bars from our Silithus farm the other day for 6,898 gold. And all the rest of it is some of the pigments and inks and tomes of the quiet mind that we crafted the other day as well. So let's pull in that 16,000 gold, and we definitely have enough gold to start production on investing 29,000 gold, because we're currently at 34,941 gold. So that means that we can now invest 29,000 gold into crafting the Vial of the Sands mount and then selling that on the auction house. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like doing crafted mounts. I am aware of this, but this has been a tried and true method that I've always enjoyed doing. So yeah, I'm going to do it because it obviously produces the results, and so if it's going to produce the results, I'm going to tell you guys about it. So that being the case, guys, don't forget about the fundraiser, because we have just cleared over £180 for the RSPCA charity fundraiser. Really happy with the way things are going at this moment in time. Well, just in general. If you do want to donate to the RSPCA fundraiser, the link is in the description down below, and hopefully I'm aiming for around about 300 quid to go towards the RSPCA. That's the initial goal, is about 300 quid, I've decided. But other than that, guys, the other thing that I wanted to mention is yesterday's video when I did that crimp. I was so like weirded out by me crimping. I think it was me just re-watching it when I was editing. But obviously I take everything in a bit of a joking way anyway, regardless. And obviously I am aware of how I say that being the case and all that stuff. But just looking through the comments, I've read every single comment that's been posted on that video, by the way, so you have not been left out. I may have not replied because I was like half asleep when I was reading them all, but I have read them. But what I would like to say is that I really appreciate the support with all of that stuff. Like, some of you guys had really nice things to say actually, and it was kind of, well, it made me happy. Yeah, it made me happy reading it. Some people said it sounded more genuine and all that stuff, and I prefer to be honest. It's a lot easier to be honest to people. Like, if I think a farm is terrible, then I'm going to like say it, if you know what I mean. But if it's good, I'm going to obviously tell you guys about it, because at the end of the day, that's why we're all here. Yeah, flat out honesty is just always the best policy, and I really appreciated your support with all of that, even though I took it as a joke. But well, took the drinking contest as a joke. And that, guys, that I'm going to now go edit this video and get crack-a-lacking on making all of these Vial of Sands. So that being the case, I would like to ask for one favour, and if anyone would like to, I would like it if anyone who is on Argent Dawn EU to, if they've got an alt, could they come on and add all of my other alts to my guild? That would be really helpful in just keeping track of all of the materials in my thing, instead of just sending them between mails. That would be really helpful if anyone could spare like 5 minutes just doing that. But other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Have an awesome day, guys, and I shall see you soon. Bye.